Good morning students. Today we are going to study about module 5. In module 5 we are going to study about wired lines Ethernet. Here we are talking about Ethernet. Ethernet is also called as joined lines, wired lines or Ethernet. Among this we are going to study about IEEE standards. Here 802 standard we all have heard about. 802 standard IEEE is this was a computer society which was established in 1985 and they have started a project called as 802. Why this project was started? It was started to set standards to enable the interconnection among the equipments. There are manufacturers who are going to manufacture the equipments and those equipments should have certain standards. So this standard is going to set the standards for the manufacturers that what kind of products they have to manufacture. So this 802 project, it's going to provide the characteristics for those equipments and they have to be satisfied to sell them in the market. So project 802, it is a way of specifying the functionals to the data link layer as well as the physical layers and to the major LAN protocols. So this project, it is going to specify the standards as well as some of the functions to the physical and data link layer. So we are going to study about data link layer and physical layer and their functionalities. Here you have IEEE standards for LANs. You already know what do you mean by LAN, and in LAN you are going to study about data link layer first. Data link layer, it has been divided into two sub layers. First one is LLC and second one is called as MAC. Here LLC stands for logical link control and second one MAC stands for media access control. Here LLC, it is a logical link control which is going to control the functionalities such as framing. Along with that, it's going to control error detection and correction. And MAC, it is also used for framing. And data link layer, it's going to receive the data from the upper layer. Upper layer can be network layer and it's going to send that data to the physical layer. And the same data is sent to the transmission media and it will be sent across the network. So here you are going to come across two more terms. One is token ring and one more is token bus. You already know what do you mean by token ring and token bus. Token, it will be issued to a person so that when their turn comes, they will get the service. So for this purpose, everywhere we are going to consider the tokens. Here token ring MAC and token bus MAC. What this is going to indicate is who has to get the service. We have many applications. And all those applications you are going to arrange them in a circle, and who has the token, that person will get the service. So it is called as token ring MAC. If it is using the ring topology, then it is called as token ring MAC. Otherwise it is called as token bus. But everyone, the person who needs the service, they should have the tokens with them. So here MAC, it is going to provide the channelization. We have different types of channelization such as random access, controlled access as well as the channelization. Which method is used to transmit the data, that is decided by the MAC, that is media access control. So what this media access actually does is, it's going to provide the media to send the data across the network. First one is random access, second one is controlled access and third one is channelization. Among these three you have to decide through which media you want to send the data, that is the channel used to send the data, and through that channel what kind of topology is being used to send the data, either it is bus, star, ring or mesh topology, and that is decided as token ring MAC and token ring bus and many more. This is about the MAC. The next one is about the HDLC frame. Here HDLC stands for high level data link control. What is this HDLC frame consist of? First one is address, second one is control, third one is upper layer data and fourth one is FCS. FCS is again divided into two parts. One is DSAP, that is LLC PDU, and the second one is MAC. We know that PDU is payload data unit, which is going to carry the actual data to be sent across the network so that it can reach the receiver. DSAP stands for destination service access point, that is to which destination you want to send the data. Source service access point, that is SSAP, from which source you are going to send the data. This is the HDLC frame format, which is divided into again two more frames called as LLC and PDU, and MAC payload, it is the actually data what you want to send across the network, and everywhere you can find the header, that is the MAC header. And FCS stands for frame check sequence, which means it is going to determine which frame you are going to send across the network, because we know that data has been divided into segments, packets and frames, and what is the frame number, that is decided by frame check sequence, that is FCS. Next we have about the standard Ethernet. The Ethernet was originally created in 1976 by the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center, that is which is one of the center which was reserved for research purpose, and this center, it has created the Ethernet. Since then it has gone through 4 generations, and those 4 generations we are going to study briefly. The first one is standard Ethernet. What is this standard Ethernet? It is going to allow only 10 Mbps of data across the channel. So the maximum channel limitation is 10 Mbps, which is going to be around 10 to the power 10 into 10 to the power 6 bits per second of data across the channel. If you want to send 100 Mbps, then you cannot use the standard Ethernet to send the data. Similarly, fast Ethernet, it's going to send only 100 Mbps of data across the network. If it is more than that, then you have to go for gigabit. The evolution has taken place from original data was 10 Mbps which you wanted to send, and later the data size was increased to 100 Mbps, next 1 Gbps for gigabit Ethernet, and 10 gigabit Ethernet for 10 Gbps of data. So this is the evolution of Ethernet. And standard Ethernet, it is 10 into 10 to the power 6 bits per second. It is also called as 10 base 5. Here 10 is the 10 Mbps of data what you want to send, base, that is bandwidth, 5 is 500 meters, that is for the restricted to the cable. So it is standard Ethernet is also called as 10 base 5. It is an example for standard Ethernet. Next we have is 802.3 frame format. To study about this is a part of standard Ethernet, and in standard Ethernet we have certain characteristics. The first characteristic is called as connectionless and unreliable service, which means that when it is connectionless, you are going to use the wireless media to send the data, and when it is a wireless media, it is going to provide the unreliable service, because there is going to be error while transmitting the data, because it is a wireless media, and the protocol used for wireless media in the transport layer is UDP, and the same thing will be sent across the network. And the MAC frame format, you can see it on the screen. Here the first field is called as preamble. It is of 7 bytes, which means it is of 56 bits, and it's going to contain alternative zeros and ones. So 7 bytes, it's going to be of zeros and ones continuously, and the size is 56 bits. What this preamble is going to indicate it is, if you send the frame at the receiver side, it's going to alert the receiver, so that indicating that the frame is coming to it. So it's going to send a alert message, or it's going to send a alert signal to the receiver, indicating that the frame is nearer to the receiver or to the destination. So it is called as a preamble. Next we have SFD. SFD stands for start frame delimiter. What this start frame delimiter it's going to indicate is, it is going to indicate the start of the frame. 1 byte data, which is nothing but 8 bits. It is a number or a binary bit which is going to indicate the start of the frame. Next we have destination address. Destination address is 6 bytes data, that is 48 bits. It is going to decide, where you are going to say what is the destination address. It is in the MAC format. That is MAC address, which is nothing but 6 bytes. That is Ethernet address. It is also called as network interface card, NIC. It will be of 6 bytes. Ethernet address. Next we have source address. Again it is of 6 bytes, from which source you are going to send the data to the network. Next we have length or type. Length or type, it is of 2 bytes, which is going to indicate what kind of data is being transmitted. That is, what kind of frames are being transmitted across the network. Suppose if you are using IP protocol, ORP protocol, OSFP protocol, or HTTP protocol, what kind of protocol is used to send the data across the network? That is indicated by length or type. It is usually of 2 bytes, which is nothing but 6 bits, and totally we have 2 to the power 16 bits of frames, that is 65,536 protocols that are available to us. Next we have data and padding. In case of data and padding, the minimum payload that can be transmitted is of 46 bytes and the maximum payload that can be transmitted is 1500 bytes. That is called as data and padding. If the data is not of that length, then we are going to perform the padding. Padding is a function of adding extra bits to the existing data. So that is done at data and padding. Next we have CRC. CRC is error detection and correction algorithm, which is only performed at the data link layer, and main functionality of the data link layer is to perform error detection and corrections. Next we have minimum and maximum lengths. As I told, at data link layer you have data and padding. The minimum payload is 46 bytes, that is the actual data what we want to send across the network, and the maximum length is 1500 bytes for each frame. Next you have about the frame length. Frame length is considered as the length of the frame removing the actual data what we want to send. That includes destination address, source address, and length and CRC, but it will not include the data and padding part. So here the maximum frame length is considered as 512 bits or 64 bytes. Among those 64 bytes, 18 bytes are removed. 18 bytes it's going to indicate the actual frame length, and that is removed, and you are going to transmit 46 bytes of actual data across the network, and the maximum frame length is also given as 1518 bytes. Here, go with this. Here you have the next topic. Next topic is called as addressing. We already know that Ethernet address, it is indicated with 6 bytes. 6 bytes which is going to be of 48 bits. Here 2, and they are also indicated with hexadecimal notations, and 2 bytes are separated by a colon, and you can find all those 6 bytes here. Here 2 bytes are separated by the columns. And there are 3 types of addressing modes that are used here. One is unicast, second one is multicast, and third one is broadcast. What is this unicast is, you have the Ethernet address. In the Ethernet address, the last byte in that you are going to represent that in the binary format. When you are going to indicate that in the binary format, if the last bit is 0, then it is called as unicast. If the last bit is 1, then it is a multicast, and if all the bits are 1s, then it is called as a broadcast addressing. Here the least significant bit of the first byte defines what kind of addressing you are going to use. That is, if the bit is 0, then it is unicast. If it is 1, then it is again multicast, and if all the bits are 1, then it is a broadcasting. You can see the example here. In this example, you are going to convert this A into binary format. When you convert A into binary format, that is in the hexadecimal format, it is indicated as 1010. A is indicated as 1010, where the last bit is 0. When the last bit is 0, you are going to consider that as a unicast address. Check with this first one. The last bit A is converted into hexadecimal format, and it is represented as 1010. So the last bit is 0, so it is a unicast. And check with the second one, it is E. When you are going to convert it, you are going to get it as 1110. When it is 1110, again it is a unicast address. Check with the last one. Here all bits are 1111, which is going to be the broadcast. So here the example is the explanation is already given here. Just go through that. First one is unicast, multicast, and third one is broadcast. It is similar to the previous one. Just now we gone through the categories of Ethernet, that is evolution of Ethernet, and among that the first one was standard Ethernet. And there are certain common implementations of standard Ethernet. The first one is 10 base 5, the second one is 10 base 2, and third one is 10 base T, and last one is 10 base F. What is this 10 base 5 is going to indicate is 10, this is the actual Mbps of data what we want to send across the network through the bandwidth, and 5 is going to indicate through 500 meters you can send the data. That is the limitation on the length of the cable what you are going to use. So it is called as 10 base 5. So you are going to use the bus topology and thick coaxial, and you are going to study all these things next. The first one is here you are going to study encoding in a standard Ethernet implementation. Here we are going to use the encoding method, that is the Manchester encoding method. In Manchester encoding method, here it is going to remove the unnecessary space that was occupied. So we already studied about the Manchester encoding earlier. So if it is 10 and the 10 is written in the same signal, or it is indicated with the single signal, so it is going to reduce the space, and reverse occurs at the decoder side, encoding and decoding. This is the 10 base 5 implementation. Here 10 Mbps of data you are going to send across the baseband, that is the digital data is being transmitted through a 500 meter cable. You can find the cables, two cables here, and you have the trans receivers which is going to act as a transmitter as well as the receiver, and they are separated by certain space. You cannot place them next to next, they have to be separated by a certain space, and the length of the cable that is connected to the device, it is 50 meters, you can see here, and the actual length of the entire cable it is restricted to 500 meters, so it is called as 10 base 5. Next you have the 10 base T, it is similar to the previous one. Again you can send, the maximum is 10 Mbps because it is a part of standard Ethernet, and in standard Ethernet you are going to restrict the data that can be sent to the 10 Mbps. So it is 10 base T. Base is going to be again a baseband which is going to send the digital signal across the network, and you are going to use the twisted pair cable, and the twisted pair cable, the length is limited to 100 meters. The minimum length is going to be 100 meters and maximum you can transmit any amount. Third one is 10 base F. Here you are going to use the optical fiber to transmit the data. You can check the previous, again you can send only 10 Mbps of data through the baseband, and here you are going to use two fiber optic cables. One is used to send the data and one more is used to receive the data. So this is going to send the data, and the other one it can be used to receive the data. It can be used when you are going to perform multiple tasks at the same times, both sending and receiving the data. This is the summary of the three standard implementations, or the standard Ethernet implementations. Here the media used and maximum length is going to be indicated with the cable, and the coding method used in all these cases is Manchester coding. So this is going to give the summary of these standard implementations, Ethernet implementations. Thank you. F9 ರೀ.
F5 ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ F5 ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫೋಟೋ ತೆಗೆದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ.
ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು, ನೀವು ಬರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲ
ಅದು ನೀವು ಬುಕ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರಲ್ಲ,
ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು
ಐತ್ರಿ.
ಅದು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್.